My name is China, and welcome to the first episode of the Mandems Voice Podcast. Okay. So this is not only just the first episode, this is also our Valentine's Day edition. As you can clearly see that we've got some nice flowers there. Everyone looking really nice over there. So guys, look, I think I saw the comments, like I saw the request, like everyone's asking me, oh, when are you going to start your own podcast after? Yeah, shout out to Pearly Things, because I definitely blew up on Pearly Things, so we can shout out to Pearly Things. But what I said was, I'm not going to start my podcast till I hit 1,000 subscribers. And guys, we hit 1,000 subscribers. Okay, and true to my word, we hit that yesterday, and we're going to start it today. So what I want to ask you guys, you do, please, if you can subscribe if you haven't done already, and like the video is very important. It's the one way that YouTube shows that you're feeding my content, and then share it with people and comment, because I read the comments. Everyone knows I read the comments, and it's the one way that I know I can get the feedback, positive and negative. And to be fair, if it's going to be negative, it's likely these baby mums that are hating on me. But that's the only negative contact we get. So without any ado, I want to I'm joined by some lovely guests, some familiar faces and not so familiar. So we're gonna go from left to right. If you could just say who you are, what you do. It doesn't have to be just your job, because none of our jobs define us. So it could be your side hustle, your relationship status, and your best and worst Valentine's gift. So we'll start with you.
Wow. Put me on the spot still. Ghost the writer. That's what it is on the socials. I'm a creative entrepreneur. Worst and best Valentine's gift that I've received. I haven't really, it's like teddy bears and flowers and chocolates and baked things, like crepes. I don't know, like there's nothing bad or good about it. Like I've just received like normal things.
Okay, cool.
Relationship status.
No comments still.
Yeah. That really is a relationship status in 2023. No comment. What about you?
I go by the name of Pink Kush. You can find me on the socials as the same thing. On Snapchat is Kushums, which is half of the name. I'm entrepreneurial. I do a lot of other things. I'm qualified in like swimming, hospitality, events. The list goes on. I'm an artist. I make music. I'm versatile. My relationship status is free agent currently. Not that there's not candidates. I just haven't selected anyone. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And the last thing was my worst Valentine's Day. Wow, I don't think I've had one. But if I was to say like someone just being a bit ungrateful.
What's your best Valentine's Day gift?
Jewelry, money, the D.
I don't know. Goddamn.
Collectible things.
She's speechless.
Hi guys, I'm Bexy, mindset and femininity coach. In my spare time, I like to ride horses. I am not single, and I've never been given anything for Valentine's Day, so I don't have a good or a bad.
What? Wait, how can you not be single and you've never been given anything for Valentine's Day?
It wasn't from February last year.
But you've basically, this Valentine's Day is going to be your first one that you're going to get something.
It will be the first year, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to have to check.
Best come through.
No.
I will be messaging like,
A lot of pressure,
Yeah.
a lot of pressure.
I'll tell you after.
It's the best and worst you've received.
Yeah.
Not just like given.
yeah.
Because I'm saying I've given like flowers or...
No, just what you received. Yeah, just
Oh,
you received.
seen
We'll
it.
speak about your Romeo, like your lover boy.
No. So what I've received.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the best is a holiday.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Nice.
You got food now?
I thought it was like just what you
Yeah.
yeah, because you just give baked things like flowers or...
But you didn't buy her a holiday. Hang on a minute.
So let's just move it across to you. So
Guys,
So my name is Naomi. My socials are n_Mamadou87. I am a writer, creative, and at the moment I'm writing an erotic romance.
ooh, what is an like Mills and Boons, that type of stuff?
Well, this one is actually like, you know, most erotic romances always have like this superiority from the man's perspective. This is like a
365 days.
fluidity of like, which ultimately it ends in unconditional love. So they go through all of these different types of relationships, and it's written from a male's and female's perspective.
Okay.
But obviously in any romance, there is a lot of erotic.
Yeah.
So I'm just really good at writing about sex, basically.
Okay. And what's your best or your worst Valentine's gift you've ever been given?
I don't actually. I I don't know, because I don't put that much emphasis on Valentine's Day. I just get gifts, like, and so I don't know if it was on Valentine's Day. I just like, I'm not driven. I'm not impressed by gifts per se. I appreciate them, but I don't buy into consumerism. So I mean,
that's not your love language.
Yeah,
I was about to say that's not your love language.
Quality time. If you ask me like the most intimate relationship I've ever been in, then I'd be able to give you that in detail. But gifts, I'm like, I got a motorbike once, but that wasn't for Valentine's. I got this. I could give you a list of gifts. I got, but it wouldn't be just for Valentine's Day. Okay, cool. I refuse to conform.
So what about you?
So my name is Emmy. I'm a student nurse from Birmingham. Well, I live in Birmingham. I'm not from Birmingham, but my Instagram is Miss MV, but I'm not really a Instagrammer. I just post whatever. Aside of that, I'm PTSD advocate, DV advocate. So I do a lot of charity work with people from any age, from backgrounds of all sorts of trauma, on the back of going through it myself. And I don't think I've really ever had a Valentine's Day. I've had a lot of nothings on Valentine's Day.
Wow.
But nothing.
Oh, sorry about that.
Pending
Valentine's
Day.
Is Valentine's looking better? And last but certainly not least,
it's me. I'm back. Hey guys, it's Miriam. If you already know, then you know. If you don't, then hi. I'm a presenter, creative director, mindset coach. I do a bunch of stuff. I've been on many platforms with China, and obviously got my own podcast. So Conscious Conversations, check it out. Almost even the tongue twister, honey. Almost got for my own podcast. Allow it. But yeah, that's me.
Okay, so guys, so let's get straight to it. So seeing how it's Valentine's Day, I want to ask, when it comes to long-term commitment and marriage, what's love got to do with it?
Nothing.
So there's a really good movie that's coming out, and I recommend everyone goes and sees it. So it centers on two friends, next door neighbors, Cam, who is a British-born Pakistani, and Gemma, who is a British English woman who is a filmmaker. Now, Cam decides to allow his parents to set him up on an arranged marriage, and she documents the whole process. So while documenting it, it's clear to see that Cam and Zoe have a real chemistry, but due to cultural differences, the both of them, obviously, they're not going to get it together. So I don't want to ruin it for all of you, but it touches on interracial dating, it touches on the British family, arranged, or should we say assisted marriage, as they call it, and women's fertility. And I think every woman over 30 should see it, and also women under 30 should see it as well. So what I want to know, when it comes to picking partners in the UK has a 55% divorce rate versus assisted marriages, which is 6% divorce rate. Is it time to stop picking what you like and start picking what makes sense?
100%.
So I'm gonna, who wants to take that first?
I don't mind. Say the question again.
So when it comes to picking love, so basically assisted marriage, right? It's not arranged marriage. Assisted marriage is where people look at basically your family go out there and they know the qualities that you want. It's not based upon what someone looks like. It's not, you know what I mean? So it's compatibility, right?
Based on compatible with me
and
my
and there's a
family.
55% divorce rate for when people pick their partners versus 6% divorce rate for assisted marriages, right? Not arranged. Arranged marriages is a different thing, right? So what I'm saying, when it comes to picking a partner, like what has love got to do with it?
I don't think love has very much to do with it, because love is a choice. So what people deem in society as love isn't actually what love is. That's attachment. It's all the chemicals that are released in your mind that trick you into thinking you're in love, so that then you can procreate. And so for me, if the statistics are saying that assisted marriages work better, then like I can't see it being a negative thing. Would I want that for me? Definitely not. Like, because there's so many elements that I need mentally, like my family are not in the same space consciously, that's the wrong word, as me. So then they might pick somebody that I'm compatible maybe on paper, but then physicalities and that transfer of energy.
But in your past, when you've picked men and they haven't, that's been your choice. You'll pick them for anything that you deem the reason. But the relationships have failed for any reasons, right? So, but that's based upon your choices. So that actually represents the 55% of breakups, right? Versus if your family do it and do it based upon what they know, what you need versus what you like, it has a 6% chance of breakup. So what I'm trying to say to you is,
but how many people how many people is that based upon? So like, obviously the majority is the 55%, right? So what percent, like, it's a very small percentage of people that get assisted marriages. So it's like,
in the West.
In the West, yeah. But are we talking? Is this statistic from the West or is it from?
No,
somewhere
it was
else?
actually from the West. It was actually from this country.
Okay.
Because it's a British movie. It's a British movie. So and
No, I'm on about the statistic, not the movie.
no, but the movie, the statistics taken from the movie, and it's based upon. So it's based upon a British-born Pakistani in this country, and he's been trying to
But
do the
was
whole.
that a cultural thing or based on like every?
No, it's
culture?
just
Because obviously if he's
so
back from
so what we're
Pakistan,
what the movie's trying to show is that it shows his next door neighbor, who is basically his friend, different cultural things. She's doing Tinder, doing all the dating things, and it's not working. And he's tired of that, and he said, "You know what? I'm gonna hand it over to my family now, and to go for assisted marriages." And then I'm now learning that actually assisted marriages, not arranged marriages, they actually benefit. So what I want to have a conversation is that when it comes to picking your own partner, is it better that you pick your partner or people that know you best?
So my thoughts are,
No, you go first.
yeah, my thoughts are like, it's case by case. Everyone's different, and it depends on so many variables. Yeah, I personally believe it's a balance, and in the diaspora or the Western world, we're solely looking at aesthetics and superficial things. So that's too far extreme, and it'll be good to look at some functional aspects so you get a bit of balance. But total functional wouldn't work for me, because if you're born and bred here, and if you've dated or seen a lot of people, right, you're kind of like subconsciously assessing everyone and comparing everyone. And like it or not, you're going to be corrupted and polluted. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas say someone who hasn't really dated and is more traditional culturally, and then they get introduced, they ain't got no reference point. So it might work from that point of view. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's not arranged, but people with arranged marriages in older generations that haven't really dated too tough, but then get introduced to someone and that's their first partner.
But with this one, yeah, it's not that. It's the fact that he represents what in the West you have all the options.
Okay.
And it's not working. He's a doctor. I think he's in his early 30s, and he's dated, and now he's saying, look, it's not working. So he's handing it over to his parents to be like, right, you know what's based. So for assisted marriage. So I'm saying we all have the option now to pick any partners that we want. That's the luxury that we have, right? But I always say when women complain about their partners, they're like, oh, is this? But I said you picked him.
So from personal experience, I've personally thought, you know what? Like typically I get like, say for example, Chris gal that look nice externally but don't have the internal elements. So I tried to change my own narrative. So what I did was I started separating my wants and needs and prerequisites and preferences, yeah? And then I did that. And I found like people that I would say are more compatible on paper, like the resume, on a functional level. However, I went too extreme with it and there was no chemistry or spark. So my thing is, for me, a balance is good. No one's perfect. Just a bit of that and a bit of that. Yeah. Because sometimes now, someone's all good on paper, but there's no attraction or no chemistry or no spark.
Yeah.
Then when you have an argument or something, there's no adhesive. It's like having every bricks to build a house, but no cement.
I love that.
There's no adhesive.
I love that.
So you see you're building the foundations, like them bricks there, it's easy to knock over.
Yeah.
But if you've got some cement, certain times I might give a girl a blind just because she looks cute and we got chemistry.
privileged.
Yeah.
So I need a little bit of that
Yeah, you need
so
something
I
to
can
work
give her a
with.
blind, because otherwise I'm going to be over it.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you don't like them in that moment, you can at least look at them and be like, you know what, I still want to have sex with you.
That's it.
Kush.
I don't like you, but I want to fuck you.
I think it's a mixture of things, like you were saying. It's not just one thing. It depends on the individual. Obviously, a lot of people haven't experienced a lot of interactions in a certain way, so maybe they're more inclined to, accept that offer. They'll be like, yeah, why not have someone pick, a partner for me, because clearly I don't know what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. But a lot of people are confident and they'll be like, you know what, I trust my own judgment. Or you just want to see how someone is. So you give people, like you said, the benefit of the doubt. You might oblige them based on little things that you might have told yourself are red flags. Because we've all, like you said, if you've ever told a girl like you picked that guy, whatever not, will be based on the fact that, she's experienced red flags and she might have just given him bliges here and there. And then after all, it hasn't turned out for the best. So I just feel like for myself, love can exist, but like you were saying, I believe love is like something that you create. It can't exist without you making it. You know.
But don't you think if you were stuck on an island with someone else and it was on YouTube, don't you think you would learn to love them?
I could. Yeah, of course, because I would like disregard certain things. Like I would have to tell myself, you know what, this is all I have. Like it's just me and you on. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like survival. It's not like survival instincts, but it's basically survival.
But also, you know,
not
like,
to say that I'd sleep with him or something. I would just be like, you know what, me and you're gonna start procreating.
I hear you.
Personally, I might not get there because I'm a bit. I don't know. I've got my own personal tendencies. I just feel like I'm very like stern on, and I'm just like, yeah, maybe I get
on an island.
I know maybe we have fun. Maybe we have fun and we do other things and we explore the island and we create other things, but not like that so fast away, like, you know, straight away.
So Bex, what about you in your relationship? But if you wasn't, would you consider assisted marriage or relationship help?
No, I wouldn't. I think it would be nice for everyone to have the option because I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought there was only arranged.
No, I didn't know. That's what I said. I've just learned about it.
In between.
No, so assisted marriage.
No. Can I explain it?
Yeah, go on, please. Yeah.
Assisted marriage is arranged marriage. Arranged marriage is not forced marriage. There's a difference.
Okay.
An arranged marriage is when you go to your family and like, look, I want to get married. What I'm doing is not working. This is the list of what I want. On top of that, let's keep it real. Like if you pick your partner, there's gonna be a point where you're gonna bring them home and you're gonna think, I want my parents to like you. If my dad doesn't like you, it's an issue.
Yeah.
So it's like avoiding all of that. They bring them in because and they also work out cool. Are they easily blending within our household, like certain things? Do you know what I mean? A forced marriage is when you're spoken for from a young age. Yeah. So if you're young, they'll be like, cool, this person is going to marry this person when they hit this age because our families work. That's a forced. Arranged marriage is assisted marriage. It's just a coin term for it. Yeah.
Okay. And it's modernized a bit because if you notice, like,
we've got to modernize
everything East is
now.
East and all of them.
Yeah.
East is East. They'll like wear something and reveal the woman on the day.
Yeah.
That's
culture. That's how it's done. Yeah. So period. So different people go through it. But the ultimate element is that the parents do the seeking, and then you all meet and you pick whether you want them or not.
Everything is built on, you know, like sanity. Some cultures and some like arranged marriages or assisted marriages are based on corruption. Not everyone's going to have the best interest. Some families are like, you know, we're doing it for the money, or that guy he's got a good job, he's going to put us on. You know, there's other things that come. There's other things that come into it. Like obviously.
What about you? Because basically, he's a Pakistani guy and the girl is an English girl. And you know what's funny is because
ironic.
Do you know why it's funny? Is because it's complete cultural differences next door, but they're best friends. Yeah, and she's a filmmaker as well. So she's a bit like, why are you trying to do this for? Like, why are you doing it? And she doesn't understand it. So she's now filming him the whole process of it, right? And I don't want to ruin it. It's a really good movie, but it literally speaks because it shows the stark contrast. She's on Tinder, literally going on dates, right? And she ends up meeting, and then he's literally like, he's tired of all of that. He's like, right, I can't pick. Yeah, and I think sometimes we all have the luxury of picking, and if we keep picking wrong, at what point do we say, actually, maybe?
But I think there's an evolution in any relationship. The person that I chose when I was 19 is very, very different to the person I would choose now, because my evolution as a person on a conscious level.
You're not supposed to pick your partner, though.
I haven't. The universe has picked him for me.
What?
So I'll be real, yeah. So
No. Wait, guys.
The universe aligned me to this person.
Yeah, I agree.
No. See, I'm surrounded by two spiritual lights. I don't. With the moon and the stars,
We're
galaxy
bring
lights.
You some crystals in a minute and align you.
Reiki. No, because the reason why I say this is right is like initially this
You're
was
too pragmatic to understand it.
no.
Okay.
So let me tell you what was initially happened and what's supposed to happen. Right, you're supposed to have your father in the home, a brother or at least the uncle in the
I
home.
wouldn't
right?
want somebody like my father.
No, wait, hold on. You're supposed to have a father in the home, your brother or your uncle in the home, right? And what happens is, initially, this is how it worked. We would have a limited amount of access to. It's called courting, not dating. Dating is a 1900 construct from America. We wasn't dating before. It's called courting. So what would happen is, I would show my interest. I would make my interest known to you or to your father. And then what they would do, they would give me a limited amount of access to you. This access meant that maybe we could go and... Remember, you know the word chaperone? It means that you would basically...
like take her out.
Yeah,
like,
you could have a limited amount of access to a date with her or do...
And
Anyway.
obviously
And then
that,
they'll
how
review it,
that's
they'll
done
review
is
it.
dependent
Yeah.
on the culture.
It's a
of
vetting
family and
process.
stuff.
Yeah, so this,
Yeah.
but this what would always happen if you look at, even if you look in the old American movies, you'll go out and you'll be like, yo, Mr. Sams, can I take out your daughter?
of
Yeah, and that's how it was, right?
So
what-
my mum says
yeah,
she wants to date my mum for me.
what's that?
So they would date my mum before they would go on a
the
date
guy.
with my
Yeah.
mum before. Because I'll tell you straight, I cannot pick them. Like
Okay,
I've picked
but
horrifically.
essentially, so this is what's supposed to happen. Men are supposed to be in the home, right? Because what happens is I'll show my interest, then your brother or your dad will say, okay, cool, you can have a limited amount of access to my daughter, and that access of my daughter is just to show her that your interest, right? After that, what you're supposed to do is basically say that I want your daughter, and you're going to propose to my daughter, right? See, men can smell the bullshit in other men. Whenever you meet women, whenever you're dating a girl, you meet the woman. The mother's always gonna like you. The aunties are always gonna like you. That's how it is. It's quite rare that when you meet a girl's mom, that she's gonna automatically dislike you because you're a man as well. And if for the men that lie, and most men lie and they're good at lying, they can easily sweeten up your mother.
Thank you.
Yeah,
but when you meet the father or the brother or the uncle, we can see it already.
There's levels,
So
there's
a lot of times when you girls complain about your exes or your men and they're like, oh, he cheated, I'll take one look at him and say, of course he was going to cheat. I could see he was going to cheat. Couldn't you see that? But if your brother got introduced to him, he could have saw that. He could have smelt the bullshit a mile away. And another thing, when you have family members, strong male figures in the home, it stops a lot of bullshit that happens in your home because men know how to act right around people. So the reason I'm saying this is because it goes back to the thing that there's no fathers in the home. There's no brothers, or the brothers that have been over feminized where they just let any man come and date their sister and they don't say nothing about it.
I think that's true to a degree though, because like my parents are still together. They've been together for 30 odd years. My grandparents were together. They've sadly lost one each side now, but my dad came from, and I won't speak too tough on this, but my dad came from a family of not really much love given. So I knew my dad loved me. There was no question of that, but I wasn't used to like a cuddle off my dad. And then that kind of, we've come a long way. My dad's been to therapy as well. Like we've broke the cycle now. But as I've gone and navigated life with men, I've taken that cold behaviour as normal.
Okay.
So I can sit here and say I've loved, but I've never been in love and I'm 30 years old. I've never felt that in love thing because I've found these wrong people that are quite cold and I'm giving them everything because that's what I've learned.
That's not love.
And then I've felt this like unbearability not being able to be with them and felt completely brokenhearted. But now I'm very open about people. Like if I date, I will speak to my mom and my friends and say this is what he's about because I've been through what I've been through. I need to be kept in the lanes and not wave off or maybe slip into that self-doubt or self-esteem where I'm slipping again. Like I have to be kind of like they'll say don't think so or like well, why did he say that or and I like that because it keeps me accountable as well. Like make sure that I'm staying with my self-esteem high and I'm putting myself in front of the right people and not following a pattern of a decade of absolute hell.
Okay.
I think with everything, there's pros and cons, and that assisted marriage, right. The pros I think is that the family being involved, that vetting process and that shortlisting process is less emotional. So you're not like, because you're gonna go for like instantly like image, looks, and spark. Your family will balance that out with criteria. But if it goes too extreme with the criteria and political agendas or financial agendas are going through, it could go wrong because they might just pick someone because, like you said, their family's good or they're rich or whatever. Another thing is some cultures, it's not like two individuals getting married, it's two families getting married. It's a union of two families. So they're seeing the bigger picture in that. And then lastly, there's things like stereotyping and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'll be the first to admit it's gonna sound mad though, but so like I got like face tattoo and tattoos, gold teeth, whatever. But I wouldn't want my daughter bringing a guy with face tattoos and teeth. Even
that's cool. Yeah, that's real.
So now I'm gonna probably stereotype the brother and say, nah, like left that.
Why would you do that though? If you know that you're, unless you,
because I feel like I'm an exception, but I don't think like everyone that looks at me is.
So guys, I want to take it on. Did you want to say
I just
something?
want to quickly
go on.
say, I think the reason why statistically as well, off the back of your statistics, that arranged marriages do better or they actually last in comparison. Do you get it? It's because I think it comes down to two things. I think it comes down to intention from the man, firstly, because when a man is serious and he wants to really get married, he's going to go and do what he needs to do. And secondly, I think it comes down to your relationship with your parents. Because like I was engaged. Do you get it? Like I was
engaged too.
Yeah, I was engaged, and I didn't get to the point where he met my dad up just until just before that. And then when he met my dad, like speaking to him and even speaking to my parents are divorced, so I've got two different perspectives, but they showed me so many things that I didn't see or I missed out. And my dad always, my dad, like when he met him, he was like, look, like I'm the bridge. I'll give you the green light when I think you're ready. He was like, love's not always enough. And that was the realest shit. So for me, it's like, I'm pro arranged marriage. I'm pro find your own partner. But I think it really comes down to, are you ready to get married? Do you really want to get married? And do you 100%. Trust and have that good open connection with your parents enough to think they're going to bring you someone that you can vibe?
Just before we move on, I was going to say like a lot of the reasons why I was going to say people might have a higher statistics on arranged marriages or assisted marriages because it's a respect thing. Like at the end of the day, you've already gone to the family, so it's like, are you not gonna come correct? Like, to my mum, my dad. It's kind of like if someone's gonna crumble, this is the time to crumble and break. It's like if you go and crash under pressure, you go and crash now. Like so I feel like it's outruling. I feel like they outrule a lot of things from the get go. And at the same time, if they're going to disrespect, first of all, the disrespect's not coming straight to you. It's going to your family. And it's like, you're going to disrespect my mum and my dad. Like, cause
the whole family name,
so I feel like the person that would be coming to you, they're going to have to be serious. Like you said, like, if they're not, then it's going to frizzle out.
Our modern day version is asking your dad's permission for their marriage. But that's it. You just have a one conversation with your pops after you've been done as if you didn't even need the permission. Like, for me, that's mad.
So I think what we're going to say...
A lot of guys are shook. Sorry, let me just say that. Like, a lot of guys are actually scared to address a parent, especially like to talk to someone's dad, like man to man, macho energy, like, you know what I mean? Even to like what you said, they can smell the bullshit if it's bullshit.
So I think when it comes to arranged assisted marriage, what we're gonna say, there's pros and cons. It works for some people, culture for some people, but I don't think we should ever write it off as something because the actual statistics prove that it does work, but it's actually probably not for everybody.
Who does DV? Someone specializes you, So I was gonna say a lot of victims in DV might like
survivors,
keep it quiet to save the honor of the family and not like because the external pressures of the family. So that would raise the statistics.
While you're speaking about that, I'm going to take it to the Mason Greenwood situation. And the reason I want to speak about it is because I spoke about it online. You know,
he doesn't know.
Okay, so you know Mason Greenwood, the footballer. So I'll explain it to you. The 21-year-old Manchester striker footballer. Some people are basically saying...
hard charge thing.
So SA charge. So basically, essentially, there was a video that went back about over a year and a bit ago. Discussing video of him essentially being in an SA situation with his missus. It's come out. It's gone viral. And essentially, you know, he had like 3 separate charges brought towards him. By listening to it, you would think it's an open and shut case, but he's gone to, you know, he's come back for bail a year later, and he has obviously been. They dropped all the charges due to the fact that the witnesses involved and all the people don't want to speak, right? So everyone said, oh, you know, he's paid them off, and, you know, he's getting away with it on the rest of it. So I don't necessarily want to speak on, because I actually said on social media, I've said that previously, if you don't report something, you know, you shouldn't come onto a platform.
I was there.
Yeah, and Scream say, so I don't believe that if you haven't reported, it doesn't happen. That's not what I've said. What I've said is, if you haven't reported and you come on the platform, then if someone questions you about it, you don't get to ask them why they question you about it. They can question you about it, right? And essentially, because every time on the platform, you get ladies that come on or women that come on that say I've been a victim of SA, and whenever you ask them what they've done about it, they always say nothing. And my thing was that I have sisters and nieces, and I would rather us get at these men that are doing these things. So a lot of people said, oh, she was paid off, and, you know, obviously she's going to do that because she's got loads of money. And even with the case with Prince Andrew, you know, him paying off that woman that 12 million.
Well, you mean the Queen with our taxes?
Yeah. So, but essentially, I want to speak about the people that take the money, the families, like, because with this case with the girl, the whole family was backing him. So I don't necessarily want to speak about the actual incident. I want to speak about the women that stop other women from getting justice.
Can I take this?
Yes, please.
So I'm not going to discuss because I can't, but I didn't get justice either. But I've spoken about this before and women came for my throat, but the whole story is actually irrelevant. So it's been in the media, everybody's seen it, everybody's got an opinion, everybody thinks she should play for Man United, everyone thinks that they're still together.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
So
yeah, they are.
I've spoken about this before, and I'm a domestic abuse survivor, so I can say this. I have to be accountable for my partaking in it. I went back. I took the several...
Why did you go back?
There was a combination of no self-esteem, didn't think I could be without him. He'd made me feel like very isolated from my friends, my family, so I didn't really have anywhere else to go.
Codependency?
Literally, like he took everything from me, down to like my car, car keys, passport, like he had it all. So they're still together. So really the conversation is absolutely irrelevant because neither of them are taking accountability in a situation. It's just literally clickbait for people to go on. It's making a mockery out of the actual situation. Even her posting it for me is abuse because she's done that to ruin his career. So you can't sit there and say, oh, well, he's done this to me, but then not go to the police privately, not keep it quiet, not go to the family.
So in fairness, I think, you know what actually happened? She didn't post it, but I think one of her friends or family members posted it, and then that's what's happened. So then once she's been taken out of her control, it's just done.
But if you're sending that type of content to your friends, you're putting the risk of that coming out. So if you're actually seriously being abused, you will either feel panicked and not be able to go to the police, or you won't say anything.
If she sent it to her friends, he said that she hasn't gone to the police and she didn't publicly say it. I've confided in my friendships. What they do with it is then out of my control. You should be able to have friendships that, especially when you're in a coercive, abusive relationship and you feel isolated, if you have that one friend, that friend might have thought that they're doing like the best thing in your interest and put it out there. But at the same time, it's then out of your control. And when you're in a trauma bond and you're really in this cycle of like perpetual, you feel like that's the one person that you can only be with. It's then like so. I mean, this blame thing of like, oh well, she shouldn't have, or the fact is, she did.
Yeah, I'm not saying she shouldn't have. What I'm saying is, neither of them are taking accountability for the toxic mess they've created, which is causing everybody to argue it and have an opinion and have a lack of education around like DV or like, you know what I mean? Like all we saw was one video and an arrest. None of us know.
To like bundle it up, it's like if you're going to give awareness to something, make it worth the while.
Like,
make it make sense. Make it actually educational to some extent. Because what I feel like you could be saying that they've done is like confuse the grain. Like if people are not as tapped in with their like, you know, mental state, they might mislead or miss, you know, what's the word? They might concept like the information. Like they might just take their own thoughts on it and not actually understand what's actually going on, which is, you know, like someone that's toxically deciding to be, you know, intertwined in a situation.
Like if I was Mason's manager, we'd be going to town now. Yeah. We'd be doing charity stuff. I'd be speaking. I would be making him a voice of something. This is what we've been through. He doesn't have to say whether he's done it or he hasn't. You don't have to go that deep. But they're doing nothing with it.
To be fair, Man United have said they're going to do their own internal investigation. But essentially, I was playing devil's advocate online. And the reason I was doing it, because I was like, well, if she's saying that it didn't happen and he's saying it didn't happen and the family are supporting it, and then how do we know that it wasn't? How do we know it wasn't just, you know, extreme, you know, S&M or BDS or whatever it is? How do we know it wasn't?
We don't, but he broke his bail condition, so he clearly doesn't care.
No, but I'm talking about the actual incident, right? There's all types of there's you know.
What were they doing?
Like, what was the actual thing that got put out? Like,
so basically, it was basically a very blurred video of her with a bloody nose.
It was a video and a recording of basically her saying no, I don't want. Basically, you know what I mean?
Like,
it looked very bad, yeah. But
grapey.
It looked very grapey, yeah. But essentially, you know, a lot of people do. There's a lot
drugs. I was gonna say
not even drugs, but there's a lot of
out there. Like who says they were sober?
No, not even drugs. I'm talking about role playing. Like there's knife play. There's all types of.
I understand that.
You know what I mean?
But imagine that with the added incentives of alcohol and drugs. Who's to say that it was fully?
But if it was that,
why men pay money for women to walk all over them for them to lick a toilet bowl. Now, if you hear that, people pay money for people to call them the N-word and to be racially, and because they find it sexual. Listen, if you heard that clip of someone doing that, you'd be like, oh my God, you're racist. Be like, no, that person paid me to do it. Yes, so what I was trying to say is, who are we to start telling people about their fetishes and their kinks?
Yeah, but if it was that, it'd be very easily shut down by saying it was that.
But how do you?
Instead, they caused this horrible conversation of uneducated
No, but they
bias and
didn't
opinion
though.
on things that people don't know.
Like
She
anything
the
about.
Andrew
She
Tate
didn't
video.
leak. She didn't leak it.
Andrew
She
But,
Tate
it's the fact,
video,
but
same
for me,
thing,
it's
innit?
like
Yeah.
even
Was
the
it
fact that you're saying she
Go on,
didn't,
speak to the mic.
even the fact that you're saying that she didn't leak it, even spikes more worry because it's like, so you sent this horrific, like graphic video to somebody for them to be traumatized. I would leak it too because I'd be thinking if you sent me a picture, like even me and you are not like buddy. If you sent me a video of yourself like distraught, looking some type of way.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't leak it, but I would call you or try and get a hold of you and be like, what's going on? Like, you're all right. Like, I would be concerned. So maybe
Leaking it would have been the worst thing to
But-
do.
obviously, but the person that did it, I don't know what their mental state was to why they
Also,
uploaded
you
it.
don't
but,
know
you know.
if-
What was
Yeah. No, I'll just about
my opinion on
about the whole scenario with Mason Greenwood and women essentially, not helping the scenario, not helping, and she's not helping it, and everyone's speaking about it. But I'm just saying that. How do you know that it wasn't just an adult's kink, an adult sexual game? Like, I don't know, but I'm just saying, how do we not know?
Yeah, no, it's true. You don't know, and I think if she's not saying much, then kind of like let it go. I think because she should be the one that's gone to the police.
Because women always say believe all women, but why aren't we believing her?
Yeah, but I don't.
It's believe
but
all women
see,
until
you know,
they
in
say
this
something that you
conversation,
don't-
All we've spoken about is her.
Huh?
All we've spoken about is her.
What about him
So like
saying something?
he could be innocent. He's lost his whole career. Like, and I people find this wild now. But I advocate for men that have been domestic abusers, have taken accountability, and now have severe mental health problems from what they've done to women. I advocate for them because I can't advocate for myself and not advocate for the other side. So this lad, has worked his whole childhood, had no childhood basically because he's been in football camps and all that stuff. He got his career. He was literally flying, and then gone. And no one's advocating for that side of the story. All we talk about is, did she get abused? Did he do it? Did he not do it? Well, actually, it doesn't really matter because there's two people in this situation and everyone's focusing on the female.
The fact
And
that they're
also
still
not-
together is just like, I just think she's a joke. Like, because
Well, if they, okay, so there's no fact because neither of them have said it's happened or not happened.
Yeah.
So all of it is just an illusion and a story that people like to create.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't have lost his job over an illusion and a story just because it's out there.
Because he has lost sponsorships. He's still with Man United, but he's lost a lot of sponsorships.
No,
Like,
even
Because of
losing
the, like,
sponsorships,
the
it's like,
intensity
but
behind
it
it.
doesn't
So it's
matter.
like,
It
because it's a
shouldn't. It
sensitive
shouldn't
issue,
matter
that's
though.
why.
But it can be a sensitive issue. But neither of them have said that it's true. So if there's no truth,
It might
and no
just be,
fact.
in all
that's
honesty,
not
like
the
as
point,
you were saying, in honesty, I felt like they might be embarrassed. Like honestly, if you haven't even willingly put it out, you're even shocked. So imagine like you wake up the next morning. Some people like send like hate mail. When people send hate mail to people, like, and they upload your pictures or they do whatever they do when they're just in a certain state of mind. It's like you don't even know if they felt like rah. This has thrown me off now. Like we don't know how to cope. And then his agency's all like attacking him from left, right, and centre. So they probably just backed into a corner and they're trying to like deliberate against. Between each other, should I even say about their?
Released, though.
They could
Yeah,
be
they
even
should
trying to
have been
construct
done-
it, but
did
they're
that
probably
though.
they're
Yeah,
probably
they
like
should
going
have
through a lot of different like controversy.
But
at
he
the
will
moment.
have a marketer, somebody who is his PR. Where's his PR?
His PR's probably shocked too.
But that's why. No, but that's
They
why I
get
say
paid
to
to
you.
not be shocked.
No, but that's why I say to you. There's like at that point, once something like that is out there under your name, no one wants to be associated with your brand. Has gone out the
tarnishing.
window, whether it happened or not, whether it comes out that it never happened. And at the end of the day,
Mud
this
sticks.
is how a lot of people know you now.
But Chris Brown is.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
it's like the
Chris
Tory
Brown
Lane
is
and
like-
Meghan.
No,
It's
I
like a
hear
lot
you.
of controversy on the
Yeah,
internet.
but
Like
it's that it happened. People are very fickle. They forget things. But at the same time, if he stood there and stood there in his own energy and was like, this is exactly what happened, people would have to have a level of respect for that in and itself. He may not get his things back, but at the same time, it would still eventually be like, well, he didn't do
But
it.
I'm more,
That's my point. He didn't do it.
but I'm
No
more
one
focused.
said
I'm more focused on like. See, I didn't want to talk about he did it. He should. I'm more focused on if he did do it or when men do. So powerful men and men with money have always used their power and their money and their influence to get them out of stuff. Yeah. But when it does, it robs. It basically when they do that, even with the whole Epstein stuff, like when it. You rob people from their justice, right? So if a woman takes 12 million, or if a woman, automatically withdraws a statement for any reasons, and everyone is saying she's being paid, obviously, then I want to speak about the families because the dad was literally supporting it. So I'm more concerned about
The dad
why
was
we don't.
supporting which element? Sorry, it's supporting that it wasn't happened.
No,
or
that
it
never
did
happened.
happen?
Nah.
Oh,
Who's
But
that?
it's like-
Who's that?
So when I
the girl's dad. Yeah.
when I reported it, like if my parents watch this will be the first time they've heard this because I didn't tell them I'd reported it because my dad's an ex-Fed. So I wasn't going to be telling my dad, who's just done 35 years in the police, that this man's beating me up because my dad would be going to prison.
Yeah.
And then that's his whole career that he's got this shining light of like retirement, and he's bowed out gracefully and he's done an amazing job, and then you're going to end up getting locked for me. Like he's not. So I hid it, and then my mom knows some stuff to a degree, but I ended up with a court charge. I paid money to lose because he walked out because he was on steroids. So because he was on steroids, he wasn't deemed mentally appropriate, and he just walked out of court, and I had the court fee to pay. So I actually went to the police and ended up losing out on money and getting and he walked out with I didn't even have like, what's it called when you can't see each other? I didn't even get granted that. So it's like, I didn't tell my parents, not out of fear, because I was trying to protect their stature in community, because my mum was a nurse, my dad was a policeman, like we come from like all emergency service. I wasn't prepared to have that story go round. And it wasn't because I couldn't have that conversation. Of course I could. I've taken many things from my parents, but I couldn't believe I was in that scenario myself. But had I been paid that money, I would have felt some sort of justice, because I lost out on money. Like I didn't even tell my parents I was going to court, because I wanted it to just be one of the things where I did it and then came out afterwards and been like, oh God, this is what I've been going through, etc., etc. But I never got that opportunity. So I never told anybody I'd lost the case, because I felt embarrassed. Because even though I went and did all the appropriate things, took all the evidence, one tiny thing like he chose to take steroids. That's why the stats of grape and SA and all those things are so low of conviction rate, because you could literally take a bruised corpse in there. People have got away with it. So it's quite subjective. What might be abuse to somebody is not somebody else.
There's definitely various angles. Definitely various angles to it. Yeah. So in essence, I can't just say women are wrong for not going to the police first. But at the same time, I can understand that if you then do it on a platform like this, then, like you said, be prepared for interrogation.
Yeah.
But the empathy for me would be like, there's factors like you said, the fear, being gaslit. Obviously, like embarrassment, loads of factors that will make you feel that you can't go to the police, especially in the community. But if the allegations are there and it is a he say, she said, there's always like 3 sides to a story. There's side 1, side 2, and then the most entertaining version. And most people gravitate to the most entertaining version, especially social media being the catalyst. And depending on people's agenda, so like the Andrew Tate one, they showed a video and then they said it was like a role play fetish thing. Andrew Tate supporters will advocate for it, and people who don't like him for a totally unrelated reason will jump on that bandwagon.
I don't think it's support. I just listened to basically with that one. He said it what it was. She said what it was, but everyone else is saying it's something else. So then, and that's another reason why I said like when people want to run with the narrative they want to run with, they will run with it, and that's kind of thing. So yeah, I just want to move it on anyway onto the next topic. So guys, you might have seen the viral video of the woman pouring hot water over the girl.
No.
Bag's making loads on the mics.
You right there?
Oh, so it's just making your mic is going now.
You're rustling. Yeah. So I think we might have all seen the viral video of that girl pouring hot water and stabbing. There was a girl that
the girl that stabbed the other girl.
Stabbed the girl and poured hot water over. Apparently, it was over a man saying that not to see a man, and she recorded it.
In her household yelling.
Yeah, I don't understand what's. Yeah, so essentially, there's a video.
Young girl,
wild.
Like, they were young.
So there's a video of a girl that was she poured hot water over a girl and basically stabbed her on camera, and basically it was apparently over a man. It's gone viral, and obviously this is one thing that I'll say. All the women cancelled this girl. Like everyone's like, we've got to find out who this woman is. How can't she do it?
It was really severe. Like it's probably one of the worst I've seen. Like,
so and I want people always talk about girls are crazy. A lot of girls say I'm crazy. But that's the next type of crazy. But I wanna know when it comes to, I wanna know why that some women can't take no for an answer.
But has she taken no for an answer, or is she just protecting what she feels is rightfully hers?
Do you think, is it okay wait, no, because you said she's protecting what is rightfully hers, so
she feels.
Yes, but do you feel it's okay to pour hot water?
You asked the question of what was the first question? Because the first question, like, taking no for an answer. Where is she taking no?
Yeah, so let me
Yeah,
finish.
that's how
Let me
it's
finish.
going.
So essentially, yeah, like, can they not? Because you're being told that basically to stay away from someone's man, or so you think someone's seeing your man, right? I want to talk about modern women and not being able to take no from answer from men and from women. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So I want to talk about how she's gone and done this and been crazy. When girls say I'm crazy, and you're like, I ain't too crazy. No, this is the next type of crazy. So that's what I'm trying to talk about in the cell.
I think this probably would have happened to her at some point anyway, because if you've got that level of snap, it would have happened at some point. Like nobody, like I've been what you would deem as crazy when I was younger, and I might have keyed your car, but I wouldn't have stabbed anybody up. So like the level of crazy, I feel that she probably would have stabbed somebody up at some point.
Let me use another one, right? Has everyone seen the recent show on Pearl's show with King Richie and the mob boss in the red? Has everyone seen it? The mob boss, yeah, mob wife, yeah.
Catch you on the rebound.
Yeah,
I didn't
okay.
even know what that meant. I had to Google.
All right, cool. So
Like, what does it mean? I
Yeah,
didn't know
so
what it
let's
meant.
use this example, right? She's come on a platform and, she's been asked to leave. She doesn't like the fact that she's been called bro, and, that she's entitled to that fact, right? That's entitled to her.
I think there was more elements to it than that.
Yes.
She did
No,
actually.
but what I'm going to focus on the fact is the fact that she made a threat to him on air.
Yeah.
On air.
What did she say?
She threatened him and said that she's going to, she's going
No,
to call man and shit. I'll get you smoked. Or something
Yeah,
about
man.
body.
Oh, she did say she would
Run him
smoke
down.
him herself.
No,
She
but
did said,
but then-
she said,
yeah.
I
To
would-
be fair, she did say, "Oh, look, I don't smoke it myself." Because
yeah, she did.
Period.
She was like, if I wasn't here, she said something like, if I wasn't in
she's
here, I would have smoked it myself.
She's some Moroccan rapper from West London, Labrador, bro, and she got a hell of a lot of blue ticks and man them in the comments like, "Yo, bro, you can't come around here." But the reason what I'm trying to say is
It was intense.
It was very intense,
But
right?
I feel like there was, like you said, there was a lot of things going on.
But why is
the
it?
question?
No, the question is I see the double standard and the misandry against men every single day. We had a woman that made a threat against a man on a platform, and she felt like it's okay. You have a
It's
woman.
all too easy though.
You have a woman that has gone and poured hot water on a girl and stabbed her and put hot water basically on her. And I'm talking about. So when we're talking about feminine energy, and when we're talking about masculine energy, these women are exhibiting the most extreme. Even masculine men wouldn't do.
That's not masculine energy, though. If you look at the
toxic
definition,
masculinity.
Yeah, but
not
it's
even
language.
Toxic and masculinity cannot go in the same sentence.
Okay.
It's just toxicity.
Okay.
Full
So,
stop.
but essentially, what I'm trying to talk about, women and accountability, and also that thing where I'm crazy. And
But
take
it's
it back.
language
Go
though,
on,
because you've just done it. Okay, so I'm sat here with a mental health condition. So I take great disrespect in that word crazy, because I'm not crazy. I'm therapized. I've been to therapy. I'm diagnosed. I'm very stable. I don't take any medication. But if I turned to somebody and said, "Oh, I've got a mental health condition," the first thing they're going to think is, "She's crazy." Whereas for myself, women who don't get therapy or undiagnosed are running around with all this energy that you're talking about, that's crazy to me, because I think it's a language thing. It's not a behaviour thing. Like, if you don't like being called bro, cool, that's your prerogative. But people, how many times do you say, "Oh, I've got PTSD from that"? Like, I have PTSD, and please believe that if you had PTSD, you would not use that language.
I think also
One
it's
thing-
like it's okay.
Yeah, one thing the irony of the whole thing, because I didn't know what they were talking about when I was on Alive. Then I went back. Well, you told me where to look. So I went back and looked, and it was totally different to how it was made out to be. Firstly, right, the irony is she used the word bro more than anyone else on that podcast.
Her thing wasn't that she got
No.
called
But
bros,
second,
she got
the context, she seems like with her accent and the way she was talking, it was cruddy, like she was on road, like she's from road. So she seems like a girl that uses that language on a daily. So it doesn't even seem, see from my man, who used the word bro, in the context he used it, he wasn't using it in a derogatory way.
He says everyone, bro.
It's indiscriminate. He says it in general. I'm not saying it's good, and if someone expresses respectfully, could you not call me bro, please? Then cool. He should not use that in that sense. But the way it's just unwarranted. Like the way she moved, there's no justification. There's no enabling. There's none of that for me. Like
didn't
whether you called her
match.
bro or whatever, like there was no need for that because she went on straight on a crud thing. So she was moving like Mandem basically. So you're basically saying if there was a brother now, you're saying what is it?
Yeah.
Bro,
You're saying what
I
is
was
it?
gonna say if she was younger, then maybe that's just her fight or flight, like innate. You know,
But
for
still not
younger,
an excuse.
that's the but if she
but still not an
grown,
excuse.
then-
But there's no
And
fight or flight
I feel
in
like
that situation. He wasn't even standing up. He was sat. He was chill. He was like she wanted her turn to talk. And do you know what I think it is? It was a superiority thing. It was like, I demand everybody to listen to me right now. And then when it wasn't matched, and it was like, well, no, this is a podcast, and you've got. It was then I'm offended. And when you're in from spaces in which you're. How people see you is like whether you're going to get smoked or not is a thing, then that's how she approached it. But we're on a podcast, like the energy didn't match the surrounding.
So when I was doing a live and then Auntie jumped on the live, to be fair, it was like...
I was watching.
Yeah, and it was like...
I was like, what happened?
was the one I was in.
Yeah, we were just chilling and then Auntie jumped on and I was like, yo, how you doing? You cool? And she's like, I left this. I was like, you didn't do this? She's like, you didn't watch the live? I was like, no. She's like, I walked out. And then obviously when I've looked back on it, like she told me, so my thing is this. Yes, there's one thing, when it comes down to the bro thing, I think there's a few parts of this. It's how you speak to when you address your women.
Right.
Yeah. So I wouldn't address women as bro, as fam, as cuz. That's not something I would do. And if I did do it and a woman made it clear to me that she didn't want to be addressed as that, I would quickly fix up, right?
But I don't even like girls calling me
yeah.
bro.
So, but it's more than that. It comes down to this as well. It comes down to your vocabulary and vernacular. So, especially for someone like King Richards, who is obviously climbing up in the podcast and doing really well, like, you know, you have to be able to grasp more vocabulary because the types of women you're gonna encounter. Like, imagine, so they had Destiny on the show, but that could have easily been Candace Owens that she could have flown through. Could you imagine having Candace Owens on there and you're doing bro and bro?
But it doesn't matter the stature of the woman.
No, it does. No, it does. No, it does. No, wait, hold on a second. Because when you speak to somebody, you need to know the levels of how you speak. You cannot go into a parliamentary debate and do bro and bruv. It's like when you swear and you continue to swear, what it says to people is you have a low IQ or low vocabulary skill. That's all it says. Yeah. And if you're going to try to get into debates with women, with intellectual women, you're going to come, this is what's going to happen every single time. Essentially, because you are not, so we live in a world where people want to address certain ways, right? Now, if you want to be addressed a certain way and you want to be, and you want me to call you a zebra, and that's what you want to call a zebra, I'm going to call you a zebra. Not because I might know you're not a zebra, but if you want to be referred to as a zebra, I'm going to refer to you as a zebra while we have this conversation, because not referring to you as a zebra is going to come with too much. But I keep calling you something that you don't want to be referred to, now I'm fighting against you, when easily I can attach my speech. Whether or not I think you're a zebra or not, that's not what we're speaking about. So what I'm trying to talk about is how you speak to people. Then we'll speak about elders, right?
Please call me Witchy Naomi from now on.
No, but I'm African upbringing, right? And, you know, we grew up calling everyone auntie and uncle, right? That's how we grew up.
Yeah.
When I was younger and I'll go around to my friends' home and they'll be like, oh, his mum's called Carol or Karen or Sharon. And they'll be like, I felt weird. I couldn't do it. Even if you're dating a girl and the mum says to you, call her by the name. I can't do that. I have to be like mumsy. Like, it's just something that we do. So there was a little bit where auntie doesn't want to be addressed. Auntie, like everyone calls her auntie, right? So by not recognizing that, and also the fact they're all part of the whole inside the Just Pearly thing, you would think that you would have better ways to address it. So I just think this was just an example of what can happen when you don't actually really respect how people want to be referred to or known to, because the world that we're going in, it can create a lot more problems than anything. And I'm not saying that you need to pander for people. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that this is how the world is right now. And if you meet someone, like if you keep calling me sis, I'll be like, my girl, or girl, I'll be like, listen, you're being disrespectful now. Like, I've told you multiple times not to call me that. Or if you keep calling me something I don't want to be called, and you keep doing it, and you're telling me I call everybody that, I'll be like, no, that's not good enough.
I think when, like, we were talking about like the language thing, so I was talking to Bex about this before we came in. Like 6 months ago, I wouldn't have been sat here in a dress with my makeup on my head on. I'd have been sat here in a tracksuit. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just that I'm finding my fluidity as a female again. But, you know, you find your own feminine thing. And I've really struggled with my femininity because I've been through so much therapy where you're told to be independent, you're told to be strong, you don't need anybody else. And when you come out the back of that therapy, there isn't someone there to like, right, now we're going to teach you how to love again. Now we're going to teach you how to date again. Now we're going to teach you how to, you know, be that feminine, vulnerable, soft, sensitive person again. So during those times of therapy, I was very guilty of swearing and saying bro, and because it was a defense mechanism. You're not getting close to me. I'm going to give you whatever energy you want to call it, and you're going to know you can't come near me. Whereas now I'm softening, and that even stemmed to my family or my friends, the way I spoke to them. I was literally a guarded wall to absolutely everybody. So I spoke to them inappropriately because I was just trying to protect my peace. Whereas now I get more back from being nicer to people, which is why I do charity work now. And I can build bonds with people much better now because I've worked on that myself. So like, you have to understand what people want from you if you're going to communicate with them.
If you want to be a podcast host, if you want to be in any situation where you're going to be interviewing, communicate. I've been on his podcast and he called me the Guardians of the Galaxies because he was calling me you and bro, and I was like, that's not my name. And so what I did is I twisted it and used it as humor and tagged him in it and put Guardians of the Galaxy music and put, just in case anybody didn't know my name, it's not you, it's Naomi. Because like, as much as we can demand how we want to be spoken to, we can't guarantee how people are going to be how people are going to speak to us. But what I can do is make sure that it's annoyed me, it's irritated me, but like me getting up and irate and angry and shouting at him isn't going to change his perception. If he wants to continue to say bro after every second sentence, it's like when people say in it or like there's always like a breathing space when people don't have, like you said, the vocabulary to put a sentence together. And I don't think communication is his starting point from him going into this. It's his arms.
I was gonna say, I feel like I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Go on.
We love a devil's advocate.
See me, If I've been done told you, don't speak to me like that. Obviously, I haven't watched it, so I'm just going off of what you lot
You're
are
going
saying.
the right way with it.
So,
I ain't gonna lie, sis. I'm about to interject
Let me
after.
just listen, get the knowledge and see. From what you lot have said to me, it's like, if you're going to keep poking the bear, don't expect a level of control over her reaction now. Because I'm not saying it's justified. I'm not saying you should while out and start threatening man, whatever. But not everyone's built like you. Not everyone thinks the way you think. Not everybody's gone through the same things you've gone through. People are shaped differently. People have different triggers. For example, a lot of people are undiagnosed. Like, I've got PTSD, I've got anxiety. I was diagnosed when I was 14. My sister was diagnosed with bipolar depression last year. She's
and
now
that's
18.
the opposite. So you've had a young diagnosis and I've had an old diagnosis, and that comes with all its own problems.
But like my sister went through like school, college, wilding out, doing like crazy, to only find out actually there's something behind this. I'm not saying that's the case, but what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, it comes down to respect, because if you're going to play that card, you have no power over what I'm going to do. You have no power over my reaction. And then after now I've reacted in a way that maybe doesn't please you or doesn't fit for you, you have something to say. But if you had respected it from the jump, we wouldn't be here.
So generally, I totally agree with her. But because you haven't seen it in this context.
That's what I'm saying.
So I fully agree with you in general, because like, if you break the rules, then the rules are broken. Now you can't dictate to me where I cap or limit my reaction. Do you get? And so I've got a lot of anecdotes with that. But in this specific thing, I want to separate three different issues. And I think by mixing it, we're kind of justifying and enabling it. Like, that girl's behavior is totally separate.
Right.
That accountability is needed for that.
Yeah.
My guy is saying, bro, accountability is needed for that, but relatively speaking, that was trivial compared to the other things.
Yeah.
And also, even though respectfully, that's an elder, and I do talk to my elders and say auntie, she had some accountability to take too. Auntie had some accountability to take too. And what she said could have got easily misconstrued by a lot of people. She didn't mean no divisive thing against West Indians and Africans, but what she said could have been seen in that. And
So yeah,
this aren't you?
a lot of it is.
Hold
on. A lot of it is subjective.
Yeah.
A lot of it is.
But wait,
A lot of it is
goes. Hold on a second. I just need to explain to her. So
I was even gonna give
because
it
she
to her.
doesn't know.
I'll give you the whole down.
Wait, guys, wait.
Auntie.
So just quickly, they was having they had Esther on the show, and
okay.
and then I can't. Basically, they was trying to.
She understands that.
You know, they call her the
Esther.
the Nigerian guys. They call her the Nigerian queen, whatever. But essentially,
She
Esther.
calls
Well,
herself
yes,
that.
she calls herself the Nigerian queen, but she was basically saying that, you know, Nigerians are better than...
No. That's what I want to... Let me explain the context.
No, because I watched it.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Yeah, but
but
she
maybe
didn't
your
say that.
interpretation.
But
Let me show you my interpretation, innit? What happened was Auntie was, in my opinion, and I'll say this with just, and I don't mean no disrespect to anyone, because someone's older. Sorry. Someone's older and I respect them, but also that doesn't exempt people that are older, even my mum, my dad, to also take accountability, and I speak to my parents like that, respectfully. So, Auntie was over talking in a sense, and when the girl Esther was talking, there was a bit of like people talking over each other. So Esther did an African accent, saying Auntie. I won't do the accent, but Auntie, but in an African accent or Nigerian accent. Cool. So Auntie responded and said, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not effing African kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. Cool.
So she's
and then she said something like, I'm West Indian, I'm not African. Right, cool. Then she was carrying on, and then the host, what's his name?
King Richard.
King Richard said something like, but before he said that, she said, oh, well, if you're African, something like, oh, well, you can't be representing Africans.
Yeah.
Look at you, something like
Yeah.
that. So
Who
he
said
said
that?
he said
No, but basically,
Auntie,
wait.
Africans are the
guys.
best.
So essentially, basically what it is it was a stupid conversation, and then what Auntie was trying to say is that, well, if you're trying to put her to represent Africa, she's not really represent Africa well, and I agree with that.
I agree.
Yeah.
She didn't execute that.
No, I know, but essentially,
what
but then
she-
but then we went from that to, oh well, Africans are
the
better,
best.
and then it just came to some
Okay.
no, because I watched it, but I don't want to go around it because it's childhood.
It sounds like a whole lot of
It's
unaccountability
kiddie,
and
it's
lack
kiddie,
of
innit?
respect.
But
That's
but what I'm
it
trying to
sounds
what I'm trying to say is that essentially that's what sparked off. That was what sparked off everything else, right? And then obviously Pearl asked the girl to come off the show, and then the girl didn't want to come off the show because obviously Michael was being asked to speak over her, but she didn't realize that Michael's part of the whole thing. So she's like, hold on a second.
Entitlement.
Yeah, but you know, obviously it's her show.
That's what
She's like, it's my show, you don't overtalk the host and the rest of it. So, and that was all part of the rules, and that's what she didn't like, and it kind of escalated to that.
But
wait, do you want to say something?
Just before, like one last sentence. I think it's a two-way thing, yeah? The recipient and the person communicating, right? Everything is two-way, because if we're having a conversation, it's not just one person. So it's how you take what I'm saying and how what I'm saying. And it's for us to individually come to a middle ground, hopefully, in theory. So you say to me, you don't like the way I said it, and I can retract it or adjust it, or whatever the method be. But the way it went left on that was toxic, and you could have like said your piece, either said your piece and walked off silently, but to do the whole theatre and move it
People need to learn.
is a different thing.
Kush, you didn't can you just
take your time. Innit?
Well, my opinion was that there was a lot of dismissiveness, in my opinion, like from all different parties. Obviously, everyone else has their own personalities that are, coming into the play as well. Like Pearl, with the mobster. I don't know what they're calling the names, and the guy. Sorry, I don't know his name. King Richard. Sorry, I'm learning everything right now. But when I briefly watched it, I just felt like there was a lot of dismissiveness coming from all different parties at different times, and what it came down to was like, everyone interprets things differently. Everyone has different perceptions on life. Everyone's gone through different walks of life. Clearly, she's had a certain level of manhood in her life. So she's very, let's say educated within that field. Maybe she knows how to conduct herself within certain sceneries, and she brought that scenery into that mode. But in my defense, not in my defense, in her defense, I would say, she was kind of getting a bit, I would say militant. She was trying to defend herself or protect what she felt was like her honor. You know what I mean? She felt like he was being disrespectful, and that's what she kept on saying. It wasn't just like, I'm going to pop off and I'm going to act up. She was like, okay, we understand you're doing this bro thing. Obviously, she wanted to speak. Pearl was like, no. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Pearl has that thing where she's like, stop.
She
Just
controls
no.
her.
Pearl will just tell you stop. Just stop. It's dismissive. It's dismissive, but it works.
But-
and at the end of the day, it's her platform, and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not disregarding it at all. Like that's what I said. Everyone was dismissive in different ways, but whether you want to justify the dismissiveness, it's entirely up to the
To be
individual.
fair, before you do go on the
of
show,
course you
don't overtalk the host. You don't do certain things.
I've
been
been there, and I
Yeah.
know that's what I said. I'm not dismissing.
Yeah, but
I'm
people need
just
to
talking
learn.
about the facts of the matter. Like, let me just quickly round up. I'm just talking about the facts of the matter. Obviously, to get down to the part of how it got like that was like, I feel like there was a lot of dismissiveness. Obviously, she felt like she was being disrespected, is what the mob girl said. And that's when she was like, and then obviously Pearl was like, just if you're going to not, let us speak and whatever not, then let's make my man talk. Yeah. And she was like, nah, I'm going to leave then. You get it? Like, and then obviously she was like, go then. So she was thinking, Rasa, you're really dismissive now. That's how she felt. And then obviously my man's doing up. And and then she got triggered about the bro thing. So she remembered it and she was like, by the way, let me address you before I leave. I'm going to cut. Let me let you know the bro thing is not what we're doing right now. And then he kept on doing it.
So people need to be able to execute their piece and also keep your own piece. So you need there's going to be things like, for instance, the PTSD thing or the crazy thing. I didn't abuse any of you for saying that we're crazy. I find it disrespectful, but that's an issue for me. It's not. And if I start shouting at you about it, you're not going to learn or understand why I find that triggering. It might like you think the next time you say it.
I believe that the guy, King Richard Michael, whichever the pronunciation, I do apologize, but I feel like he knew to an extent what he was creating. At the end of the day, he was chilled, but he was also accountable for exactly what he was controlling. At the end of the day, even at one point, Esther was like, stop talking kind of thing. Like, I feel like she said something like, just leave it.
I do agree.
You're attacking, like, you're winding her up in it.
At the same time, I'm going to...
She was on crud, that's all I can say.
What if that's his reaction? And what's the word? See, like, he could have handled that very differently. And a lot of men would have handled that
very differently. He held himself.
So if what he resorted to was laughing as his coping mechanism,
that's probably the safest option.
Because it would have been like an image thing.
What else are you gonna do?
Let me be honest. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Because as a man, right? If you react to that, then bro, that's a girl. What are you doing? But if you don't react to that, are you a mug? So like by laughing it off, he's trivializing it as a coping mechanism to brush it off almost. Now, if that's what he has to do, it's a lesser of a lot of evil. Yeah. I'm not condoning laughing. What I'm trying to say is, whatever way we look at it, everyone's got their own traumas, past, PTSD, everything. But he could have that, and she could have that. And
but if he got up and clapped her, she would have screamed domestic violence.
So my point,
but she's verbally abused him.
I don't think she made threats.
I don't even think she would call that. I feel like she would have definitely been ready and prepared. Like, what are you guys talking about? She was on it. Like, she was like, if you're going to do it, let's do it now.
If a man did that,
they wasn't even thinking she might be waiting downstairs. Like, she wasn't going home.
Potentially arrested.
Yeah, of course.
We're catching case.
Guys, let's move it on. And I think let's just say, I just like, we don't. It's not acceptable for any man to make threats to women, and definitely not
vice
versa.
And it's not.
Even like I say to my son all the time, if a girl hits you, why?
So, guys, let's talk about sex tourism and the rise of old white women and now more black women.
The rise of old white women.
Getting flown out to Dubai.
That's all I heard. I said, wait, what?
And now talking about getting flown to Dubai.
No. Guys. So sex tourism, the rise of like old white grannies from UK, and not just grannies now, like actually black women that are flying to places like, namely, we're going to speak about Gambia. And yeah, you heard about Gambia? Yeah, it's quite a big business. Women that are going off to Gambia and having sex with the locals called bumsters. So now women pay a lot of money to go to places like Gambia, and it's not just Gambia, it's Jamaica, it's Africa.
I am so lost.
Okay, so let me bring you in. Let me bring you involved. So, people spoke about passport bros. That's us men that got tired of dealing with women that are just not trying to get on the page and they're going overseas to find wives. Like a lot of it's been something in the UK that men have always gone to like Thailand and stuff and got Thai wives and Thai brides and essentially that. But now a lot of women in their 50s and 60s are going out to places like Gambia and they're literally paying to locals.
How much is it?
See, this is
the women are paying the locals.
Yeah, it's part of the parcel, right? It's because, but it's a sad thing, and it's all fun and games to talk about it, but we need to speak about it.
Why is it sad? Good for men and sad for women?
No, because
he's not saying that though.
It's a sad thing for men because first of all, you're exploiting the locals, you're exploiting the local community. No, because you're exploiting the local community. So what you're doing is you're exploiting men. Yeah, you're exploiting men and the local community, and ultimately, what happens to women that outweigh their options, play the game? And this is what I always speak about. Everyone always talks about, oh, you know what, when I'm 50, when I'm 60, what is life gonna be like 50, 60 when you don't have a partner? Like your phone line ain't calling like that. I'm in my, I'll be in my 30s and that, and then the men my boys that used to be with you every single day aren't with you every single day. They got families, they got stuff. Like, you have to call someone to do something. It's not gonna be the same amount of people that are gonna come out. As you get older and older, it gets less and less, it gets more lonely and more lonely. exactly.
I don't think it will happen to our generation. I think it's because we're having these conversations. You know, I'm 30, I'm single, I've got no children. Like I've listened, I've listened, you know, all the things you said. Yeah. Sometimes I get triggered, sometimes I don't. But I still listen because we're learning.
So effectively this is what's going on, right? So I know somebody personally that their mother is now paying some guy in Jamaica basically money, and she's flying back on that and getting her back blown out. She's in her 60s, and you know she's divorced from her. But is it really her? Is it really a dream? It's quite sad actually. It's quite. Wait.
You to pay.
Yeah.
But men have been paying for time.
Wait, guys. I'm talking.
They pay him.
It needs to be but I'm trying to say to you, like, what type of life is it when your granny, in the 60s, 70s, paying money to get her back blown up by someone in her 20s, and not just paying. This is what tends to happen. Your inheritance starts to get seeped out. You don't realize it. You don't realize what happens when it starts. It's like when your dad starts going to the strip club with his money. What do you think's happening?
But isn't their happiness like more important than you caring about their money?
Are you really happy if you're paying money, to leave this country, to go to a foreign country, to have sex from locals? Is that happiness?
Devil's advocate, yeah.
It might be.
Is that happiness? Is that what you want? Is that what you want your mum doing?
No, hell no. So
well then,
The price
in this topic, I've never judged. I've never paid for pum pum. But other man that I know
it's not
have.
paying.
No, wait.
It's about your mum. We're talking about mum.
So let him finish.
Mum is paying though.
I will explain, right? So I use that same kind of principle, each to their own, and if that makes them happy, cool. It's not a good look, 100%, but. If it's not okay for men, it's not okay for women, and vice versa. Exactly. So it's either okay for both or not okay for either.
Bro, we have double. No, bro.
No, in this one.
Wait. No.
In this
no. It's never. Bro, there's double standards. Some play to men, some play to women. How are you gonna say it's okay for your mum to be paying to go to?
Hell no.
So then, no. So then, what we need to do is, so then say it's not okay. When it's not okay. No, because you're doing a double standard thing. Wait. I'm speaking, guys. Don't overtalk me. You're doing a double standard thing. I'm saying women are paying to go to Gambia for sexual wherever it is, and they're taking advantage from local people. Wait a minute. So what I'm saying to you, these are women in their 60s. These are your aunties and your mums and your grannies. Do you want your mum to be going over because she's outweighed her options and she can't get on with a man in this country? Now she's going to take out your inheritance and the home and start paying to get. Well, do you think they're just getting sex, bro? No, they're not, bro. They're getting their whole lives paid for.
But I wouldn't want my granddad either. Exactly. Or my dad.
No, but we're not speaking.
You just said
no, but what you've done is no,
because
we're not speaking about men.
Because
we're not speaking about men. Why are you? Wait a minute.
No,
because what you're doing is because you've just done what women do. That's feminine. I've spoken about something, and then you've gone and said, but what about men? That's not how we discuss. We don't say what about men when we're speaking about women. We're talking about one, because then we could do that all day. But what about men? What about men?
No.
That's what you're doing.
I'm saying
we're not speaking about men. We're speaking. No,
I don't rate it.
It's not about rating it.
Yeah, but I think when you're having these discussions, we're going to have our own opinions, okay? So my personal opinion on this, so I've spoke about, I always say there's two parts to me. There's the survivor of domestic violence who's strong-minded, blah, blah, and then there's this flip vulnerable feminine side of me. That survivor of domestic violence who lives life, but like I just do exactly what I want to do now, not in terms of males, in terms of like tomorrow I'm going to do something off my bucket list or whatever. Go live your life. Life is so short. I could have been killed. But the other side of me, I understand where you're coming from it, and that is where I use both of these parts of me to not argue about things, and I just understand and appreciate. And
it's not arguing.
No, I don't mean like this. What I mean is I can see what you're saying. I don't have to agree with it, but
we have to let people know what women are doing, because they don't actually understand. This is what's going. So when I'm saying this, listen, you have to understand something. See, it becomes very men. When men date older women, you have to understand why men date older women. Let me explain to you why younger men date older women. First of all, most older women, they've had their kids already, so they're sexually active. So they're fully sexually active, so it's sex on demand. A lot of them are divorced, or they have their kids throughout the week. So what tends to happen is they have their own place, they have their own money as well. They're not worrying about you. Sometimes 5 days of the week, they look after their child, so that it's quite stressful. So on the weekend, what do they want to do? They want to have sex, and they want to take drugs, and they want to get lit. Another thing, they might have problems with their baby father, so you're stressing them out even more. That's another thing. Older women are more likely to buy you things because they understand that you're younger than them. them, and you can have any woman that you have. So they're gonna most likely to keep you going. Older women are most likely to show you off to their friends. So I'm saying to you, oh, look at me, I've got a younger man. So they're most likely to. So basically, a lot of times they've had their kids already. They're not trying to get pregnant. So you can just shoot up the club. A lot of times they've had their menopause. You can just shoot up the club free. So there's no pregnancy. So younger men always will go like, this is why.
Oh, why is that a bad thing? Like I'm looking for.
Okay. Wait. The bad thing is because none of these things involve longevity.
Well, they're old. So
No. But when it goes the opposite way round, yes, an older man gets a younger woman, he can still have babies with her. He can still. So what I'm trying to say to you is,
it's stopping the man from having his.
No. When a woman outweigh their options, and I want to take it to
they
you,
start wrecking themselves. I feel like you're trying to say that they're wrecking themselves. Like
you end up becoming at a loss because now you're paying for men to sleep with an older. Men don't want to go and do that. So you're paying for that. Versus men don't have to pay.
So what you're saying is now, if I didn't change my mentality, which I am now, I'm going to end up
in Gambia.
No, I could end up.
Jamaica.
No, I definitely not.
Dom
But
Republic.
but
Wait,
and this is why I'm saying it's a generational thing.
I don't get that.
So what he's saying is like, so for myself, right, I've been in this toxic cycle of horrible men, right, and there's not been loads, but there's not been loads, but you know, I could have carried on this cycle. Instead, I've stopped. I'm not even dating. I'm not even. I'll sit and say that I'm not even. I just don't want right now. It's a no, okay. Yeah. But if I stay in this mindset, or I now start absolutely flippantly dating, I'm going to end up in a situation where I don't find my person, or I don't allow my parents to help me pick a person, or you know, like that type of situation where I could end up at 50 and having to have no options of men. And having to go and pay people to find pleasure in life.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to resort to the resort.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Is the question...
I love that.
Wait, let me ask a question.
Is the question, what do you think of women doing that?
No, I'm saying, what do I think?
So confused.
No, it's not what do I think. I'm letting you know what women I'm doing. I'm
but what do you want us to...
All right, guys, let me ask a question.
Go on.
Yeah, go on, you ask.
Say family group chat or just a chat with a family member. All of a sudden now, there's a picture or there's a video being sent and it's your grandparent, grandparent, and they're in Gambia getting their backs blown off. How are you reacting? If something like that ever came out, you're not my grandparent.
No, like,
but my point is,
regardless.
My point is, how I do these things is. It's like loads of things. When it's your own, your family, the way you look at it is different to, let's say, your friends. I'm saying, because I've had friends do things with money, and I don't watch that because it's not my business. The minute it's my family, I do care. And I care whether it's my granddad or grandma. I don't care what that looks like. If I'm saying both sides, I don't care. My thing is, either way, I look at it as dead.
But that's my point. That's what I asked.
But separate, if I take myself away from it impartially and look at it, I'm going to be like, okay, if it makes them happy, cool. Obviously, I don't want my own people.
But I really struggle to relate to this because everybody in my life is either married or widowed, and they will never go with anybody else again. So my granddad, we lost my nan 13 years ago. There's never going to be another woman, like never. So I really struggle to relate to even the ideology of it because
you can have an objective.
Some people are still like eager and they're still youthful.
Yeah,
you know they're old but not in the bones. Like,
but to fly out. No.
But you use the word once you said blowing backs out, But it might not only be sex. Some people are lonely and they just want companionship.
Yeah.
So some people pay people just to talk on the phone.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what we're talking about.
But I'm just showing you.
Either way, I don't want my granny paying anyone to talk on the phone. Hey, Ghost. Bex, go on. Just your opinion on this.
Yeah, no, I think it's gross. We're talking about women. I think it's gross, and that is what happens when they wear all their options when they were younger. And it is lonely. Of course it's lonely that they're doing that. It might be like 5 minutes worth of fun, but they're wasting all that money on going all the way over there, paying a man like a young boy to have sex with. It's lonely.
And you have to ask, like, why are you flying out for?
That's a
why are you having to
sometimes
book
it's
a
fetish.
ticket?
So guys, we're gonna move it on. Guys, we're gonna move it on. Yeah.
I was going to say, what's the other option? option for them just to be lonely?
Yes, be lonely.
You know the one thing I
No,
don't
the
get.
other option is the option is to stop outweighing your option. This is,
but what I'm
but,
saying is they're
wait,
already old
no, but I'm
enough.
saying no, it's
They
not.
want
No, it's
something
not about people.
right
Old.
then.
This is we're not speaking to people in their 60s right now. We're speaking to people that think that it's never gonna happen to them. So everybody that's not in a relationship, that's not building towards the future. This is your future. This
So
is your.
you think that I'm going to be paying?
It's not.
them-
I don't know.
Yeah, but
I
the
don't
one
know.
thing I don't
Jamaica.
understand is, and this
On
might
the
be
beach,
if I get this wrong, please correct me. I love to learn, right? So from what I've read, where they're going is less fortunate areas, right?
Yeah.
So you said they're taking advantage, but actually they're better in somebody else's life, and that's why I don't really.
Because if you want to better them, just give. If you want to better.
Yeah, I know. I hear what you're saying,
Yeah.
but in that scenario, she's losing.
Wow.
You know,
You know what? Next time they try to shame you for paying for it, just say, no, I'm not paying for it. I'm just bettering them. I'm just bettering
No,
them.
I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm just calling
No,
devil's
I'm saying
advocate on it.
I don't. No, we don't pay. Yeah, but every time women want to shame these guys that pay for their OnlyFans, it's like, no, I'm not paying. No, I'm just bettering them. I'm
If
helping.
men went over to
Well, let's be
Jamaica
real.
to
Only
date-
fan girls are getting their bills paid by men bettering them. Let's be real about that.
They don't label it as that. They shame them.
No,
for
but
it.
that's what it is. If you choose to do that, whatever career you choose to do,
It's a job.
it's a job.
Anyway, guys, let's move it on. Right, it's Valentine's, right? So accepting gifts. Valentine's is coming.
Where's your
boyfriend?
boyfriend?
You're sitting at home lonely. You're sitting at home lonely. Gambia. Oh, instead.
Jamaica.
Accepting gifts or going on dates with men you don't have any romantic interest in. Have any of you ever done that? Has
have
anyone done
done
that to you? And what do you think of women that do this? Can you lead it,
I
Bex,
have
please?
done it before, and it's out of boredom. And
Go on,
yeah.
Bex.
Well, you went out with a man for boredom.
yeah, if I was hungry and he
Yeah. Speak your thing. Say your thing.
Yeah, guys. Let's speak. Let's speak.
oh the gift I don't ask, but if a man has said like I've got this for you, I'll take it and I'll go out for I used to go out for meals, picked up, go out for meal, drop back home. That's it. Like, and I say like I tell them I have no interest in you, and they still will. I wouldn't lead them on though. That's not nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're gonna offer in the past, yeah, I have done. Yeah.
Cool. Kush, what about you? Have you ever taken anything from a man that you had no interest in him? Dates, presents, gifts?
When you say interest, yeah, it's like a very
kill your
broad
leg.
thing. It's
Do you like him?
very broad because I don't tend to like people off the bat. Like I'm not catty like that. I'm not gonna lie.
But would you date so you would go out with someone that you found ugly?
For me, how I do it, it's like it's not like a sorority house, but see in that concept, like it's initiation. You have initiated yourself into my life. I don't go out looking for man.
Yeah.
Period. I don't look for man. They look for me. They find me. They seek me. I don't know what's going on. Even me, I'm confused sometimes. What do you want? Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you want from me? Like I give them that energy. Like maybe they can call it a bit, but I give them that energy. Like, what do you want from me? Like, what's good? So if you really want it, you're gonna do what you want.
Yeah.
And I'll allow you to do what you want. Who am I to stop you from doing what you want? And I'll assess that. And if I fucks with it and it's going somewhere and I do have a general attraction for you and we get on, because maybe it's not physical and you give me a vibe. Like
That
we
means
make
she
music.
takes gifts. Okay.
It's not about taking
What
gifts.
about you?
Like, I'm giving the option open.
What about you? You ever gone on a date taking gifts from some guy you had no interest in?
100%.
How many times? Are you a repeat offender?
Well, I'm 35, and so like when I was younger, I am definitely a repeat offender. When I was younger, before like in between my son's dad and certain other elements of my life, I was out of a long relationship. If somebody wants to buy me a gift and take me on a date, and it's not necessarily that I didn't have any interest. It was like I just didn't know yet. And then when I got on the date, I was like, yeah. And then they give me a gift. I'm like, thank you. And then they, and if they want to give me another gift, then I'm not going to say no. But at the same time, I think because also I don't see that like, ooh, I'm not phased by gifts. I just see it as a thing. Like, oh, thanks.
What about you? Are you a fan of taking gifts off men that you have no interest in?
Look at the way.
So,
I'm just being
in
honest.
the past, I've not really been a gift receiver because of the type of relationship that I was in.
Yeah.
However, because I'm really awkward at taking gifts, part of my therapy was to date and
Take gifts.
like take stuff, right? So I'm very honest with men from the get-go, and to be honest, like you can read it on my face whether I'm into somebody or not, because I have no filter on this face, like it's ridiculous. But like I had to be able to be okay receiving it, even though it's not my love language at all. Like because I've not felt that, I would say even now I'd still take it, because I've got to learn to be receiving
That's the
because
feminine
I've not felt that before. So I have to become awkwardless in that because otherwise it's just going to be weird for them. Can you imagine you buying me something? I'm like, oh no, I can't have that. 'Cause that means that you've done something wrong. And like, I have to learn to be able to receive.
He's saying if you don't rate him at all in that way.
Yeah, but the
if
person
you're
would already
not
know
liking
that.
the
So if you're
guy-
buying me stuff, then that's off in your own back because I would have already said that.
So what about you?
Ciao.
Your handbag collection looking nice.
You like getting gifts?
Oh, so let me even. Man don't want to gift me.
Are you sure? No,
I'm sure.
no, you're
I'm
lying.
telling- I've been on. I've taken a free meal, or like for me, I think because of the way I am, I'm not just going to dinner. Like we're doing dinner, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing like
Your activity girl.
We're-
Oh,
Yeah.
Boston.
What? Or like, you can book me a spa day.
What?
I'm with that. But
Okay.
I've never been gifted.
Never.
Like I was even, I was
Not that it's happened. I'm just
But-
saying, good.
I was gonna touch on the matter because
Go
obviously
on.
the way you relayed the question was very like, if you don't rate them, I
I've not been.
I don't think about it in that all entirety. Like I'm very innocent.
You should do.
I know, but I
You
don't.
shouldn't take anything from a man that you have no intention of.
It's-
Because
Yeah.
men, as
the
soon as you
thing-
take
no, no.
something, that means you like us.
No, I understand that, but there's a way that it can be perceived. Out of respect, I could take it. Out of the fact that maybe you're a decent person and I might gift you something. It's not even just like I'm taking a gift because I just want to like, ooh.
But you're not going to gift a guy something that you don't like.
This is the thing. I'm very unconventional
So
at
you would just
times.
gift-
Like
you would gift a random guy a gift?
No, I'm not talking about a random guy. Obviously, if we have been like around each other, maybe you're in the friend zone. Everyone's in friend zone. No one's nobody. I don't see people and you're gonna take me on a date.
Yeah,
And I'm
'cause
just like,
you're a bit of a slow burner. Like I
I need to suss you out. Like some girls, some people are very, inclined to be like rushing things. I don't rush things.
Yeah.
So when I'm working you out, at some point maybe I might decide, I will buy food. Like you'll think you're gonna buy the food. I'll even make you feel like you've ordered the food, everything. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna pay for it. And you're looking at me like, no. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pay for it. That's it. I might just surprise you because that's just my style. Doesn't mean that everyone does that. Doesn't mean I'm trying to like make him feel like I like him because he might even think, rah man, she's paying for my shit. Like she likes me. It's not that. It's just like I'm just different in it. Like my body different. Like I just do my stuff how I do it. And it's out of respect. I'm doing it for respect. I don't know if he's doing it because he wants to get in my drawers. That's entirely up to him. But I do it out of respect and kindness. And at the end of the day, if I refuse it, you're gonna get shaky. Like some guys are like, so raw, like what? So what? Like do you get what I mean? They get shaky. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Let's keep it sweet.
What about you?
Let's keep it
I
sweet,
feel
you know?
like it's uncles. Well, this is my stereotype, yeah. I feel like a lot of uncles
me.
and all them people there would do that.
Yeah.
Or certain type of man would do that. And them type of man know that their currency is currency.
Yeah.
So therefore, like they do that to kind of reel the gal in. Do you get it? So they know what they're doing because them man there that go and do the most, do the flashy thing to get gal. They know that there's a gamble and they're trying to get sex out of it. Let's be honest, 100%. They're trying to do it all for sex, and if worst case scenario, then cool, they whatever.
It's
innit?
intent, isn't
but
it?
my point is, they know that there's a gamble, and human nature is that you're gonna probably someone gave you a free something more time. If you're a girl, you're gonna take the thing. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why girls will have a food guy, a cab guy, rare.
I had a friend when I
on
was
their
growing up
phone,
in my
certain
20s
times.
who'd
So
go
it's
out
an art-
Monday to Friday.
So it's in our it's our responsibility as men not to be no idiot.
So can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question just before?
Accountability.
So, do you believe in marriage? Do you want to get married? Is that something you want to do?
It will be good, but it's not essential.
Would you have children out of wedlock?
Again, yeah. It would be nice to do it with marriage, but if I felt the foundations were right, the woman had the right values to raise my children, I would do it without marriage.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But don't you think some of the values and foundations of a good woman is her wanting to get married, to have your children in that unit?
I feel like it's not imperative in this day and age, depending on the person. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you meet someone where the foundation's already there, like a marriage would seal it. Would be like the the formality, but it's not essential.
Okay. And you, what about you?
I'm very fond of the idea of getting married, but I'm very fond of it. Like, cause like it's a nice thing. I see myself. I've always had the princess, Oh my God, like I've always had the vision of the dress. Like I've probably remade it like 5 times, 7 to 8 times even. But at the end of the day, it's down to the individual.
Aren't you the individual?
I am, but at the end of the day, what I've always told myself, like the individual meaning not myself, but the individual, he got the gist of it.
But you
like,
do realise that if you say like you this is what I'm saying to say, like your partner will basically. You set your level.
He'll decide.
Yeah. So
that's what I was gonna say.
If you're marriage minded, you meet marriage minded.
Let me tell you. That's what I was gonna. But let me land because I was even there. Yeah, I was gonna say at the end of the day, it's down to the individual, meaning my partner or the person that wants to, marry me. When people have asked me, when I've been in like a long time relationship, or whatever not, and they're like, like when you guys getting married, I was like, you're asking the wrong person because am I proposing to myself or someone proposing to me? So it's even for him to decide whether he sees me as marriage material. Not to say that I'm not. Just because a guy doesn't want to marry me doesn't mean I'm not. Maybe he doesn't see himself as the guy that can be with a girl like me. Not to say that it's not possible. He might just not see the vision in his mind, and he's not just on that. A lot of guys just want all types of different females these days. Like
there's a difference between a wedding and a marriage, and a lot of people get that misconstrued. It's not about the dress and the big day. I'm not saying you do, but a lot of females they romanticize the day, the celebration, the ring.
You were raised like that. We're bred like that. We're
Bex, what about you guys?
Guys,
you're giving me away.
Yeah, I want to get married. I would much prefer to have marriage before kids. I don't want to have kids before marriage at all. And I think you have to vet men and ask them what they want from the beginning, because a lot of women, they get into something and they're months in and they're like, oh, he hasn't asked me to be his girlfriend, or he hasn't said this, should I mention marriage? And it's like, you might have just wasted your time. Like men know from early on if they want to make you their girlfriend, if they want to get married. So you have to ask these things at the beginning. Like you said, if you want marriage-minded men, you're going to attract them, and you need to vet these men. So yeah, I definitely want to get married, and it's not for... The wedding is nice, yeah, but for me, I like the idea of marriage.
Thank you. I know you're baby mom already.
I'm not a baby mum.
Well, you really are.
No, because I had my son. We were engaged.
Was you married? No.
We were engaged. We've
That
been
still makes you
together.
baby mum.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm Naomi, who co-parents amazingly.
Okay, so
I have children. Yes.
Yes. Okay, so let me just break it down.
I have children.
You're a single mother. If you're married,
I'm not a single mother, because a single mother would mean that I don't have a father.
No, that's not what it means. Let me just, and I'll let you go. So when you're married and you get divorced or you're widowed, that makes you a single mother. If you have a baby out of wedlock, a situationship, or long-term boyfriend, you are a baby mama. There's a separate difference. So one person had a ring bought for them. There was an announcement in front of the public declaration to everybody. They spent money. They thought about this action versus somebody just a fumble in the hay and then.
But we got engaged. He got a ring. I had a ring on my finger.
I know, but you didn't get married. So.
No, but I mean.
Imagine if the person didn't want to. Like a lot of people, like, you know what, like we've actually made.
Then you shouldn't have the child. No.
But a lot of people I'm just putting it out there. A lot of people make commitmentships.
I know,
and they don't want to get.
But then so you're still a baby mama. So you're still.
I'm just saying.
No, but you're still a baby mama. I know.
Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, I'm a baby mama.
Do you want to get married?
I am going to get married. Yeah. I've already circled Dom. He's in there. I'm in there. Yeah. Happily ever
Is that
after.
that spirituality witchcraft stuff?
No, it's going to be a ring. He's going to be proposed to me because he's in his divine masculine energy, and he's going to come to me, and we're going to be in that space. That's what's going to happen.
Definitely.
And hey, you didn't ask me if I want any kids.
Do you want my kids?
My womb's not dead yet.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, guys. Yeah, okay. She wants marriage and kids.
Maybe.
Yeah, definitely. So I was engaged young to military, where you had to live together to be married, etc. And I always remember that being the most exciting time of like pure, like before all the pain and trauma. Like I just remember that being so exciting.
Yeah.
But I definitely know there's a reason why I've not got kids at 30, and that's because I've not found that marriage. Like I've been surrounded by marriage my whole life, and it makes it really hard on me because I want what I'm witnessing around me, and I'm surrounded by, and like even my cousins are married, everybody's married, and it makes it really hard when my friends have all got kids. But for me, I want what I've had as a child, and I can't really relate to anything else because all I've had is a marriage with kids, and marriage with kids, and a marriage with that's all I know. So to have come full circle now out of therapy and be actually able to say, yeah, I actually want it again. It's like, I'm quite proud of myself for getting through that 10-year journey to get to say, yeah, I do. Because 5 years ago, I'd have been like, no.
Okay, marriage gang. And last, again, but certainly not least.
Well.
Arranged assisted, what are you doing?
Let me tell you something, yeah. I never used to want to get married until I got engaged, which is very odd, yeah. Now
You're not engaged anymore?
No, I'm not engaged anymore. We're out here.
You're outside.
Oh, no, we're not outside though, are we?
Okay.
But I'm a woman of God.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I believe that, like, especially if I want a family, I'm not having no kids outside of wedlock. That's not me personally. Like, I will try my best or whatever the weather, but it's not my intention. I think it's important for me to have family presence and to have the presence of God, and you say and you claim of chest in front of my parents, your parents, and God that you're committed to me. That's I have to have that, especially if I want to bear my children, and you're not committed to me in the way that I deem for myself that level. You have to marry me still.
Okay.
So that's what I was gonna say. Like you said, some people like that's your level. Not saying that I disagree because I'm on the same vibes, totally. But some people, they feel like that level of marriage, they're not too pressed on it. They're just like, me and you are here forever. Like we've made a soul tie, you know, a verbal commitment, even though it might not be as physical. And I do hear your point. Some people are just like, this is all we need.
And it also means different things to different people. What it meant to me 10 years ago is completely different to what it means now. So when my ex went to my dad and said, I can't really go into the reason why he's not around anymore, but like he went to my dad and asked for marriage, whatever, like that meant different stuff now. Like 10 years on, you know, maybe our generation will break the curse. Do you know what I mean? Like my sister has been in a long-term relationship, probably pending proposal. Do you know what I mean? So I think it will come back round
let's
again.
just put up our hands for everyone that's in favour of marriage over here.
You want to say something before I put my hand up? No.
No,
Don't
say something. Just hand.
Put your hand up.
Just hand so you can down and down. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm
we kind of
indifferent. I'll tell you why. One thing.
No, wait. Because what are you gonna do?
Separate to that.
No,
separate to that.
go on.
I think what you said, you hit the nail on its head, because it just depends if you get the person on your page. There are people who see it as a union of God and family.
Yeah, bro. No, bro. You're doing too much. I just want to. No, bro. You're doing too much.
I'm not saying it.
No, just yes or no. Yes or no. No, I'm saying just because basically, because there's always that. I just want to know in the room, are you for marriage?
Yeah,
or,
and I said I'm indifferent.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we leave it at that. So guys, no. So we leave it at that. So we're coming to the end of the show. I want you to give out your Instagram, your social media, all your networks and stuff. Let them know where they can find you, Ghost.
Yeah, Ghost the Writer on Instagram. Ghost the Writer, spelled with an A at the end.
On Instagram is Pink Kushemz. So that's spelled like pink, Pink, a double K, Kushemz. On the Snapchat, it's on the bio. And yeah, you'll find everything else as you go along. The Kush experience is the point.
Is that weed? No, sorry.
It's a bit of everything.
I was trying to think where I heard that name. I was like, where have I heard that name?
My Instagram is BexyLucyX. My website is bexylucy.com.
My Instagram's n_Momodu, MOMODU @87.
My Instagram is Miss MV, so it's EMMVEE. And I just want to say, like, if you do find me on Instagram and you're ever in a domestic situation, 24/7, you can contact me. My phone's never on silent. I have lots of people. You want my number, you want my email, like even anybody in this room, I will drive thousands of miles for people that reach out, because I will always be, I had nobody when I was going through it, and that was my own fault. So now, like, I really advocate to be that.
And who do you work with again? What's that?
Go Girl Birmingham.
Okay, cool. Go Birmingham. Check them out as well. Okay, and
At official Miriam, MERIAM C.conversation podcast. Those are both the Instagrams, and you'll just figure it out from there.
cool. And my name is China, the Mandem's Voice, and this is episode 1. We've done episode 1, and it's the Valentine's edition. I just want to thank everyone that's come, like my guests, man. I really appreciate you guys pulling through and making it happen for me, guys. What we need
Thanks
to do.
for having us.
Oh, come on, man. Let's love. We're gonna definitely do some more shows. Shout out to Ghost, obviously. Shout out to Pink Kushemz. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Miss M. No, I was about to come back to her. Shout out to Bex. I was going to swing it back round, Bex. Shout out to Bex. Miss MV, Miriam, guys, make sure you like and you subscribe to the page and you drop comments down. Make sure you follow me at My Name is China on Instagram, the Mandem's Voice on Instagram, and also make sure you follow the TikTok at My Name is China. Yeah?
Make sure you turn on the notification bell as well.
Turn on the notification bell.
So you are notified when we upload.
I mean, that's why she's here, right? Turn on the notification bell.
So you forgot to do that.
We out.